Welcome to Accepting, where I guide you to accept all aspects of your beautiful self, embrace your truth, and live your life that way. Hello, gorgeous, and a warm welcome to Accepting. I'm Aline, your host. I'm a channel, I'm a mentor, I'm a coach, and I love to see highly intuitive people and empaths flourish. In this episode, we are accepting the moon. So grab yourself a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's dive in. So for those of you watching, you may have noticed I am outside. I am in nature. I'm under the most incredible tree. I'm actually under what I call the tree of love. We are very blessed in our garden to have a tree, an olive tree, which has a beautiful carving of a heart in it that happened naturally. So for those of you who are listening, I really hope you feel the gorgeous love from the tree of love, even though you're not seeing it. Now, today we're going to talk about the energy of the moon, and particularly the full moon to start with. So we're going to talk about what is the full moon. We're going to talk about how we can feel the full moon as highly sensitive people and empaths. And thirdly, how we can work with the full moon to our advantage. So first of all, we all know what the moon is. Unless we've been living underground, we all know what the moon is. The moon is the constant in the sky, and she's either very, very small, so we don't see her, or she's at her fullest, the most impactful she can be. And first of all, I would like to talk about the full moon. So when the moon is full, it is when she is at her highest power. It's when we see that beautiful white sphere in the sky above us. And it's when everything's lit up by that gorgeous, beautiful white energy that sparkles across in the night. Now, when the moon is full, she is, as I said, at her most powerful. So I say she because the moon is feminine. Lunar energy is feminine. When we are working with the lunar energy and we have that beautiful white silver sphere in the sky above us, that is when we're most connected with our emotions and our feelings. And as highly sensitive people and empaths, that is when we can really, really tune in and intuit more. So the full moon is when she's at her most powerful. As highly intuitive empaths, as sensitives, as healers, as witches, as magicians, as all kind of empaths, that is when we really feel into our gifts the most. So with the full moon energy lasts for 3 days, and the full moon energy is about celebration. So in these 3 days, we celebrate who we are, all of who we are, and we feel into our gifts, and we are grateful for the beautiful gifts that we have, because the universe listens. And as we're in full moon energy, it amplifies, it magnifies all of how we're feeling and all of our gratitude. And so when the universe clicks into that and hears us being grateful for our gifts, hears us being grateful for what works for us, that is when she's going to provide us with more. So when we have the full moon, those 3 days of celebration are the most powerful to really connect with what truly works for us. So those three days, I would invite you to take pen to paper and start feeling into what really, really works for you in your life. And we're focusing on what really works. So feeling with that gorgeous lunar energy, what really, really, really works for me. What really works for me, and celebrating that. And you can celebrate in whatever way you wish, my lovely. There's no right way or wrong way. There's your way. For me, for example, I adore the moon. I adore full moon rituals. I will work with the spirits. I work with Lilith. It feels incredibly beautiful for me to work with Lilith with the full moon. And with Lilith, she is all about freedom and independence. And I will have a white candle. I will go through a gratitude ritual, and I will ask for continued guidance and continued amplification of my gifts. So, for example, that's one way you can work with the full moon. You can also just simply celebrate. Write down all that you're grateful for and really feel that into your body. You can also really celebrate by dancing. You can also be in, if it feels right for you, you can be with a circle of people who hugely resonate with you and celebrate together, however that feels for you. As I said, there's no right or wrong way, there's your way. So if you feel to be on your own with the full moon because you become hugely affected and you just like to just feel that yumminess and gorgeousness of the full moon, absolutely do that. If you feel to be with others and really celebrate that together, do that too. Feel what feels right for you. So that's with the full moon. And with the full moon also, when she's at her most powerful, that's when we can start receiving messages as well. So as we're celebrating and we're reminding ourselves what really, really works for us in our lives, we can start feeling into, well, what else would work for me? How can I amplify what I already have to work better for me? What would I really like to invite into my life? And we can really feel into that with the full moon as well. So we're expressing gratitude for what we have. We're feeling into what really works. And we're starting to explore a little bit of, well, actually, what would continue my growth? What would continue me feeling what would feel right for me, feeling really in my zone, really, really in my presence, really in my power? What else feels right for me? How can I go beyond? So that's the full moon. So to recap, the full moon, gorgeous, beautiful white and silver globe, sphere in the sky. As highly sensitive people, as empaths, that is when we really feel into our gifts. That is when we really intuit more and we feel what really works for us. And we can really feel into what would we like to invite into our lives, what really feels would serve us more. And it's 3 days of celebration. It's 3 days of being grateful. It's 3 days of accepting who we truly are, where we are in that moment, accepting the beautiful gifts around us, accepting the beautiful gifts that we have, and that's when they amplify. Okay, so that's in the 3 days with the full moon. So we're celebrating, we're feeling what feels right for us, and we're inviting more in because the universe is listening, and we're magnifying and amplifying with that fabulous full moon energy. Okay, so then once we've celebrated with those 3 days, that is when we can start to feel what doesn't serve us. Because as the full moon is waning, when she starts decreasing in size, that's when that's the best time to start allowing people, places, things that don't serve where we are in our lives to start leaving. So in this energy, so this is 2 weeks, so you have the 3 days. So this is about 11 days then. So you have the 3 days of the full moon energy, gorgeous celebration. And then the rest of that time, as she starts waning, which is decreasing, she gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. That energy is when we can let things go. So it's a good time to have a clear out. So it's a good time. If you've been meaning to clear your wardrobe out, that's a brilliant time. You can really feel into the pieces that work for you, the pieces that don't work for you. It's a brilliant time to go through books that you love to read and books that you've finished reading and give them away, give them away with joy. Give your clothes away with joy for the next people who are going to enjoy them. As we're releasing, it's really important that we're releasing with gratitude. So as people, places, and things are being released out of our lives, we do that with gratitude. So let's say, that's things. That's, perhaps your wardrobe. That's perhaps if you had a bit of clutter in the house, that's things. Also, paperwork is a brilliant time to start going through paperwork and throw things away that have just been cluttering up. That's a brilliant time. And it feels a wonderful cleansing to get rid of paperwork. So that's things. So then we look at places. So, and we do this gently. So if there's places, let's say you've been in a certain place in your life, and that could be physically, geographically, it could be a country, it could be, town, village, or just the road. And you've been feeling that it doesn't feel quite right for you, that's when you can start making and really feeling honestly and truly, and that's your truth in your heart and your solar plexus of what feels right for you. That is the great time with the full moon waning, is to start to release that place and with kindness and compassion. And it's really important that as we release, again, as I said, with gratitude, and also you're feeling how that truly feels for you. So you're not pushing that down, you're embracing those emotions, you're allowing whatever comes up to come up, and you're embracing that. Okay, so that's things and that's places. So it could be you're moving countries, it could be you're moving house, it could be you're moving villages. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to move, country. I'm just giving you examples of if you have been having that feeling that it doesn't feel the same for you being in a certain place where you've been living or visiting, then it could be it's time for that to go. So you're going to gently start making steps for that to be released out your life. Okay. And as I mentioned before, so in the 3 days of celebration, when you're feeling what feels really right for you, you may have been getting messages of actually there's another house for you, there's another country for you, there's another village for you. So you've already been feeling into what actually works for you. So as that full moon is, as the moon is waning and she's starting to decrease, that's when you can start just releasing that place and saying, thank you so much for being here for me. I'm so incredibly grateful that you were here for me. I now move on with gratitude. So that's places. And then we get to people. Now, when we really, really work on ourselves, when we start accepting ourselves, when we start accepting all of who we are, not how other people have told us to be or expect us to be, we're accepting our whole truth. That is when things can start changing around us, because we're raising those vibrations and the universe listens, and whatever is a vibratory match for us will be there for us. Whatever isn't a vibratory match for us will go. So if you're finding that there's friendships or there's intimate relationships or there's work relationships that haven't been serving you, then this is the best time, my lovely, to let them go, for you to move forward from that. And so what we're doing here, again, it's with gratitude, it's with kindness and compassion with everybody involved. And we're saying thank you, and we're moving forward, and we're leaving that behind with gratitude. So we're thanking for the lessons, we're thanking for the experience, we're thanking for the growth, and we're moving forward. Because if we stay somewhere that doesn't serve our purpose, that is not on our vibratory level, and we just stay there and we keep feeling this doesn't feel right for me, there's going to be a little help from the universe, been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, that will come in and say, okay, so she, he, they is working on themselves, is feeling what feels right for them, is feeling that there's more, is feeling there's people who would like to have people who really have their backs, is feeling to have people who really understand and accept them on all levels. And they haven't moved forward from this situation. They haven't moved forward from this relationship. They haven't moved forward from this place of work where they don't feel acknowledged and they don't feel it is right for them anymore. Then the universe is going to take that away for us, my lovely. So this is when blessings in disguise can happen. So as I mentioned before, it's really important that you feel into all of your feelings as you're moving on and as you're moving forward. So as you're moving away, you're moving forward from a place, as you're releasing things in your home and around you, that you're feeling into the gratitude and you're feeling your true feelings of what that means. And the same as with people. So it's with kindness and compassion for yourself and others, and just allowing them to go. And it may be they just naturally go. It may be that as you're coming into your power, as you're accepting who you truly are, there are people around you who don't accept that. And it's really important that we allow them to go, because we want people in our lives who are supportive, who have our back and we have theirs. And the universe will very likely find ways for them to go. So if there's a situation and you've been in a relationship, an intimate relationship, and all of a sudden your boyfriend or your girlfriend, boyfriend, partner just says, I don't want to be with you anymore, listen to that. As painful as it may be, it's because there's something better for you. It's because there's something more for you. If there's a friendship and all of a sudden they say, I don't really like you anymore, I'm not saying this will happen. These are extremes. Accept that. And if you suddenly feel that actually you don't want to be around somebody anymore because you're giving so much more than they give you, and you're realizing the truth of the situation, it's time to move on from that relationship. Because when we stay in situations that don't feel right for us, we're not creating space for the people, places, things that do feel right for us to come in. So it's a really beautiful cleansing way, my gorgeous, with the full moon release to really reset. So that's how I would look at it. I would say, and as I mentioned before, I would say if there are people, places, things that aren't serving you, it's time to move on. If you're in a situation where you're feeling fabulous, you're completely surrounded by amazing, supportive friends in the most beautiful, sacred relationships and the most fabulous of places, you don't need to let anything go. This is, and I'm really happy for you, this is as we are accepting ourselves. This is as we're really feeling into who we truly are, where perhaps we weren't accepting ourselves before. This is allowing ourselves to live in truth. This is allowing ourselves to live with our intuition. This is allowing ourselves to be surrounded by supportive, gorgeous people that vibrate with our energy and our levels. This is allowing ourselves to feel held and feel loved. This is allowing ourselves to live in flow and to feel really calm in the energy of others, and to feel really calm in the energy of our partners, and to feel really calm in the energy of whatever work we choose. Because that's when we know it's right. If we are in a state of panic or anxiousness, or something triggers us in a certain environment, it's really important that we look at that. And if it's time to move on from that, that's when it's the full moon, my gorgeous. So in this episode, we've spoken about what the full moon is. Okay, so the lunar, gorgeous full moon energy is working with the feminine, of feeling and emotions, what really feels right for us, and embracing that in those 3 days. And after those 3 days, allowing what doesn't feel right for us to go, moving forward from it. In the next episode, we are going to be covering how the new moon energy works with us and how we can take action with the new moon energy. For now, thank you so much for being here. I would love us all to inspire each other to truly accept who we are, exactly who we are, so we can get on with why we're truly here. Okay, so huge love. Here's to your self-acceptance. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and we will see you next week. So much love. Ho. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Accepting. Please do stay tuned for future episodes, and also subscribe wherever you get your podcast. If there's anything at all that you'd like me to cover in future episodes, please get in touch and let me know. You can also follow me on Instagram at The Acceptance Coach, and on TikTok at Solution Union 99. And if you'd like to have any coaching at all, or you would like to discuss this, do book an expansion call. For now, I'm your host, Aline, and to your self-acceptance, gorgeous, with so much love.